Hey guys, let's get into our energy of the week. We do have a very interesting week going on too, actually. There could be some synchronicities that are kind of blowing your mind this week. There could be some very tangible or real spiritual experiences going on. Very strong air of fate and destiny and divine timing, divine intervention, kind of saturating our experiences this week. And you are likely to have some type of an experience that may have some type of significant implication in terms of the future path, in terms of what's happening next, where we're going, where we're feeling drawn toward, and our ability also to let go of some things that may have been holding us back or keeping us from being able to be released to move in a new direction. This week is really kind of profound in the significance of where it is leading us. However, we also may sort of feel a strong desire or drive to turn inward, be a bit more isolated. We might feel like putting up some very strong boundaries this week. I do feel like generally it's sort of more of a monk week. Great week for processing, great week for internal reflection, great week for communing with the divine and receiving some type of higher knowledge or understanding. We may also be getting some real truth about some things this week that in some way is what we needed to move forward, to move on, to let go of something. But endings and beginnings will be the outcome of whatever fated or important experiences go on this week. So we've got a lot to talk about, you guys. Let's get into our report of the day. Let's look at how things are specifically unfolding for us Monday and Tuesday this week, but generally also as we move towards our full moon lunar eclipse that's going to be coming up next week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Monday, March 18th, 2024. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day where we are narrating the shift of the ages. And if you guys stick with me until the end of this report, I have also done a collective tarot reading for us today. I like to tap the energy field for more than one modality whenever I'm doing these reports, just to get an additional energetic perspective on what's going on out there. So there could be some messages in there for you. We are going to do that at the end. We're going to get started with the astrology. This is... I feel like, this is a daily video. In this video, we're specifically talking about the energy of Monday and Tuesday this week of March 18th. However, this week, I feel like, is actually playing more of a greater role in what is to come, actually, I feel like, over the next 4 to 6 weeks. As we move through the rest of the month of March, we're in eclipse season. We're going to have a full moon lunar eclipse that is going to happen on the 25th, so a week from today, next Monday. That is stepping through the gate to the new world, sort of, in terms of maybe, our personal lives and the new beginnings that we've been moving towards, but maybe haven't fully embraced yet. Maybe we've still been dealing with some past hangups that have been holding us back. I do feel like this full moon and Libra energy that is coming in next week is really going to remedy that in some ways, okay? And that remedy that comes through with that Libra full moon is going to set us on course for some very tremendous, perhaps profound changes that are going to go on in the month of April. This is an alignment that only happens, once in a decade, maybe, with Uranus and Jupiter coming together in the sign of Taurus. We also have a really powerful solar eclipse that is total solar eclipse that is happening on April 8th. And then we have the exact Jupiter-Uranus alignment that is happening on the 16th, and that will be a couple-day alignment. And the energy this week is really the last dose, I guess we could say, or our last opportunity to get prepared energetically for all that is going to bring and do, and whatever implications are coming as a result of this big Uranus-Jupiter conjunction that we are moving towards, and also the full moon, or not the full moon, also the full solar eclipse that is going to be happening. So like when we are looking at it from that perspective, like when we're pulling back a little bit and we're seeing like the lay of the land, you know what I mean? Like where this energy is moving us towards, then when we see how energy is functioning this week, which is taking us to the precipice, to the entrance of that gateway, okay, that is going to be taking us on that journey between the 25th of March and, you know, the 16th and then some of April, this is what we're getting to move us into that energy. And it's important. We're talking about North Node activations. This is the destiny point. This is the next phase of like collective evolution. This is like where we're growing to, okay? And it happens to right now be in the sign of Aries, which is our own personal leadership era, taking back personal power, you know, having the courage and the strength to go on our own hero's journey, considering that it's also in a conjunction with Chiron, and, you know, overcoming past states of victimhood and transcending our previous weaknesses and proving to ourselves how strong and capable we are to do things on our own and to be the, you know, the captain of our own ship, so to say. Like that is the energy that is represented by this Aries North Node. We need to be our own knight in shining armor. It's about us like saving the day of in and of ourselves, and through that experience in turn proving to ourselves how much more strong and capable and courageous and, you know, determined and motivated, like all these Aries qualities we truly can be. With the North Node in a conjunction to Chiron, this to me also indicates like more of the spiritual warrior type of vibe or archetype, wisdom gained through experience, the healing and transcendence and transmutation that is represented by the final stages of the Chiron archetype, which is the wounded healer, teacher, master. When we're dealing with a Chiron influence, we generally experience some type of significant trauma or wound or suffering that then, you know, we have to go through this process of learning to heal, overcome, release, and actually ultimately, you know, break free from the cycles that caused that wound to begin with and come to a place of self-mastery where we are no longer prey to the energetic patterns that may have created that experience in the first place. So it's really this whole process of going from the state of the victim to the state of the self-empowered master, and the wisdom that we gain as a result of being able to transmute and overcome and personally alchemize, you know, those experiences and those states of, you know, inner wounding and stuff within us. It's where we overcome previous states of trauma in order to release ourselves from karmic cycles and become the essentially conscious creators of our reality. This is also a lot of what the Aquarian archetype, in the context of the self-actualization that it represents, seeks to do as well. So we have a very strong faded Chiron influence going on right now. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, you know that I've been talking about how this past couple months, you know, January, February, it has been sort of like this hero's journey through the underworld for a lot of us. And we may have found ourselves in situations of having to, you know, go through this very process, like learn how to release ourselves from things that we've maybe been suffering with for a long time through shifting our perspective. And, you know, the concept of forgiveness has also been very relevant right now as well. And, you know, the flip side of the Chiron wounded healer teacher archetype and the teacher master self-actualization healer end of things that it turns into, you know, the victimization is the origin, is the like starting point, is the jump off point for this. So there could be a lot of, you know, pain and wounding and trauma that has gone on. There could also be a lot of shifts in our energy bodies generally that are helping us to release and overcome and to see in a new way previous things that have happened to us. So I feel like these octaves are probably playing out pretty significantly across both polarities, as we have the North Node, the destiny point, with Chiron at this point in time in the sign of Aries. But we know, because it's in the sign of Aries, right, that this is making us stronger. Like this is giving us back our power. This is setting us free actually to like achieve a higher destiny, that North Node, to release ourselves from the states of victimhood or the previous weaknesses or the self-limiting beliefs, like whatever it was that was preventing us perhaps from rising into a higher version of ourselves up until this point of time. Okay, so like that's the stage. That's where we're at. That's the general energetic, like universal push right now, is to essentially help us all to go through a leveling up, cosmic leveling up. And, it's represented by the influx of Aquarius energy right now, which calls for self-actualization in alignment with the facilitation of authentic potential coming into fruition. And then, of course, as I just got done describing with the Aries, North Node, Chiron energy, this is also this fated, destined, like energetic push to help us overcome and break through cycles that have debilitated our ability to reach that higher point in the past. You see how that's working out? And so then when we move and start talking more specifically about the energy of today, we're talking about Mercury, the messenger planet, coming into alignment with that North Node, with that Chiron energy. And Mercury, this is our mind, this is thoughts, ideas, communication, conversation, what we're learning about, what we're talking about, the interactions that we're having, the transactions that we're making, what we're generally coming into contact with and what we're thinking about it. So first of all, with Mercury right now transiting the sign of Aries, we know that there's going to be a future focus. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It has to do with rebirth and like moving forward in a new direction. It's very action oriented and it wants to start something new. So mentally, we're just sort of more geared right now towards moving in a new direction, starting something new, this fresh energy, this like lively, fired up mental energy that wants to take action to like initiate something. And then we're talking about the North Node. The North Node, this is also known as like the head of the dragon. This is like almost like a compulsive, like uncontrollable pull to move forward towards something. So, and Mercury is also a planet ruling speed. It's the fastest moving planet. So we've got, the quickest moving planet, about how our mind is wired right now, essentially, in the sign of Aries, all about forward movement, all about initiating something, starting something new. And then the North Node is there, and this is also pulling us towards the future, pulling us towards what's next, keeping us focused on where we're going, perhaps not where we've been. All right. And then we have the whole dimension of like the fated, divinely timed, divinely aligned, divinely oriented, synchronistic nature that things have a tendency of, unfolding in accordance with when we have an alignment going on with the North Node. So all that being put together, this is going to be a week where like the information or the news that's coming in or what we're talking about or what we're thinking about or the connections, the contacts, the meetings, the transactions, like there is something about how they're coming to fruition this week, like just the experience that we're having and how we're playing together, that are a part of some bigger story that is moving us forward in this direction, that is like redefining or realigning the nature of the path that we're going to be moving going forward. There could be important decisions that are coming up this week as well, but it's just likely to be perhaps a bit more apparent than normal to us that there is like a bigger story unfolding or something like larger at play, or that things are happening in accordance with some type of bigger plan that we're getting a glimpse of, or just that feel like they are like this divine timing, divine intervention type of thing going on. And also we have, not only do we have the Mercury North Node Chiron conjunction this week, but the sun has also just recently been in exact conjunction with Neptune yesterday on Sunday, and we still have that conjunction holding pretty strong in the sky right now. The sun has moved beyond Neptune, but Neptune and the sun are still in a conjunction, and that is the high in Pisces, the heights of spiritual like energy. The veil is very, very thin. Neptune in the sign of Pisces, this is the utmost and sort of like spiritual energy that is coming through. And then when we have the sun there as well, you know, it's enhancing this. And what makes it extra special is that the moon in Cancer and the energy on Tuesday is actually also going to be trining the sun and Neptune conjunct in Pisces. This is this influx, this wave of heightened spiritual energy, you know, seeking spiritual guidance, connecting to spirit, connecting to a higher power, spending time in meditation, in prayer. I'm telling you guys, that in combination with the Mercury North Node, I'm seeing it go two different ways. Neptune and Pisces, you know, if you guys follow my channel, is notoriously known, I say this all the time, for like being the fog, like keeping us from being able to see things clearly. While on one hand, it is the heights of this spiritual aptitude and the spiritual energy as Pisces connects us back into the invisible planes and, you know, all that there is. On the other hand, Neptune and Pisces, this is also the illusion. This is the dream. This is the fantasy. You know, as I said, like this is the fog that we can't see clearly through. Mercury in the North Node in the sign of Aries, this is the information that sets us free to move forward somehow. So, you know, I'm seeing this could be really manifesting two ways. On one hand, this profound, maybe like spiritual experience or connection or guidance or epiphany or realization that just kind of hits us and could really shift our perspective, change things for us somehow, some conversation, like I said, or contact or something, being at the right place at the right time, feeling the divinely oriented nature of the unfolding whatever, or the synchronicities or whatever. Like that could very much be how this energy is unfolding. Or I mean, we're talking about Neptune, right? We're talking about the sun. This could also be like psychic dreams coming through. Like when the sun and Neptune are together, it can be more low energy, low vitality. You know, taking some extra naps, getting some extra sleep. There could definitely be some very significant dream experiences, or again, things happening in like a meditative state, or even like a trance type state, or just altered brainwave state, okay, stuff like that, that is having some type of important impact or helping us to see or learn or gain or understand something that is literally like changing the way that we are thinking and moving through life going forward. Or on the other hand, the sun and Neptune coming together in Pisces, this is also exposing deception, secrets revealed, the wool being pulled off the eyes. This is the fog clearing. This is seeing, you know, the truth, where before we may have been held or stuck in some type of an illusion that perhaps had been keeping us trapped, keeping us stuck, keeping us attached to, you know, a past paradigm somehow and preventing us from moving forward. There could be some truth, some secrets, some lies that are exposed or revealed somehow that play the same role of launching us forward, shifting the focus, bringing us to a place where we can finally be released to focus on and move forward down this new direction. And, you know, one of the reasons why I started off this report talking about, you know, the greater context of things and where we're moving over this next couple of weeks is because when we know that that's where we're going, and we also know that this is the energy that we're dealing in this week, it starts to make a lot of sense and understanding, like, okay, next Monday, we have this full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Libra. Libra is the sign of connections. Libra is the sign of friendships, communities, groups, values, preferences, desires. Essentially, like everything that defines like who we are as a person via what we relate to and what we value. Okay, with the South Node there, this is the ending. If the North Node, which is the oppositional point to the South Node, is the destiny point, is where we're going and where we're growing, the South Node, this is where we've been, okay? This is what we've grown into as a result of all that we've learned, but what if we continue to hold on to is going to prevent us from growing in the new direction. So the South Node, this is the endings, this is the release, this is the past, this is the karma, and this is what we're detaching from in the sign of Libra. This is our old identity, this is our old values, this is our old relationships and partnerships and ways of connecting to others, communities, friends groups, our preferences, what we've liked in the past. We're going to be going through the end of an era of our personal experience, okay, coming represented in the energy of Monday. Once we go through that, we are like stepping through the gate, like into the new like world of our own new chapter, right? And everything's going to start to happen with the lunar or the solar eclipse that we have coming up in April, and then the Uranus Jupiter conjunction. So this week, it makes sense that we would, like, on that higher level, or even on the soul level, with the moon transiting the sign of Cancer, be receiving some type of important insight that assists us or facilitates our ability to walk through that gateway, to, you know, move through that window next week, represented by the full moon lunar eclipse that is this release point. So it makes me feel like a lot of people are going to be having experiences this week that are priming them for some type of final ending, some type of final release, finally moving on from something as a result of figuring something out, seeing something from a new perspective, gaining a piece of information, having an epiphany, having a spiritual awakening. That's hugely indicated. Spiritual awakening, and it's funny because, you know, on a greater level, if we pull it back even more, we are moving into ultimately the age of Aquarius right now, which part of that transitional process is the next 20 years, while Pluto transits the sign of Aquarius, anchoring this new Aquarius energy, rooting it, right, Pluto, the underworld, to our current paradigm. And the age of Aquarius, you know, the buzzwords all associated with that are the Great Awakening. And I feel like with the Sun-Neptune conjunction, which is this enhanced spiritual energy, the moon just happening to be coming into a trine in Cancer, which is the soul, right? While we have the Sun and Neptune in their conjunction, and simultaneously the Mercury North Node conjunction, that's like a spiritual or a soul, something awakening within us, like on a soul level or on a higher spiritual level, that is helping us to release ourselves from the past, rooted also in the, like, our perspective, our thought process, our understanding. And Aquarius is also an age of information. So, you know, it really all, like, it plays into itself very nicely. This is choreographed beautifully in terms of the unfolding cosmic blueprint right now over this next couple of weeks. And I do feel like, you know, even if we may not feel like it to start the week, like, even if, you know, wherever we're at in our experience right now, we might be like, oh, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'll have the strength. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I can let go of that. I don't know if I can really jump off that cliff or go in that new direction. I don't know if I have it within me, like, or just feeling, you know, maybe like we like literally can't for some reason. There is likely to be something that happens throughout the course of the week that alters that somehow, that brings some information, that, you know, you find something out that changes the perspective, that leads to the opportunity finally coming for some type of like true release from that which has been holding us back from where universe is calling us on the deeper soul level right now. So there could be, you know, just this definite sense that there's something bigger at play right now coming through in the experience. Things are likely to have this very spiritual feel to them. In my monthly overview, when I was looking at this month of energy, I was like, oh, that feels like a monk week for sure. Like, you know, and it's not just, aside from whatever is happening with the Mercury North Node alignment, like this faded news, information, connection, whatever's playing out there, and also, you know, the Sun, Neptune, Moon trine. As I said, physical energy is likely to be a bit lower this week. This is a week for processing, okay? This is a week for, you know, also, if you guys watched my monthly overview, or if you've been following along this past couple of weeks of March, I've been talking about how entirely active the first 2 weeks, especially the second week of March, have been, and how this week we kind of like get to go into the cocoon a little bit. If you're feeling more reserved, like, you know, you just need to put up some boundaries, like you want to just self-isolate a little bit, that is totally the vibe. When we have a Sun-Neptune conjunction, rest, relaxation, catching up on sleep, you know, letting ourselves sort of heal and process things that we've gone through. This is just as effective. We're likely to gain, you know, just as much, perhaps like information and insight based on our ability to like come to a point where we can actually process what we've been through and maybe like how we actually truly feel about it and the implications maybe that in and of itself is having for us moving forward, just probably as relevant as whatever we might glean from like being in the actual world and the interactions we might have there when we have the Sun Neptune conjunction going on as well. And like I said, you know, what comes through in sleep, dreams, prayer, meditation could really be, you know, the fated news or information that is spoken of in the cosmos right now as well, or it could be like a literal conversation or, you know, something that we're reading or something that we're coming across or a person that's coming into our lives. So there's a lot of ways that this could go. Of course, we're talking about both, you know, Mercury, this is polarity, so things could happen in multiple ways, and we're talking also about the sign of Pisces and Neptune, and this is also polarities and things happening in multiple ways. And whenever we're talking about energy, there's always multiple octaves that things are playing out. But, you know, these are just a couple examples of what we might see in terms of the manifestations of this energy. The moon in Cancer, Monday and Tuesday, you know, self-care, being at home, seeking emotional comfort and security. And we also have another building energy this week that's actually going to come exact the day after the solstice. We have our solstice this week as well that is happening on Wednesday. And another thing, I don't want to get like too far off on this tangent that I forget what I was just talking about. But Tuesday, when we have the trine in Cancer between the moon and the sun and Neptune in Pisces, this is also the last day of the sun in Pisces. This is the last formal day of our 2023 natural new year, considering the equinox is known as the first day of spring. So if we're looking at the first day of spring as being significant in terms of the natural new year, then whatever that is, the 19th on Tuesday is the end of the natural new year, and we've got this big influx of spiritual energy coming in. So we have this big wave of this spiritual force that is like washing out the energy of the 2023 natural new year. So that's interesting also that we're sort of like going out of the energy of this past natural new year in that way. But where I was originally coming from when I started talking about that was, you know, with the moon in Cancer, there is the draw to be more, to go within, right? But we also have Saturn and Venus right now drawing into a conjunction in the sky as well, which, as I said, will be coming exact the day after the solstice. Venus and Saturn together, and we're going to be talking more about this, of course, in the energy of this week. We're really just sort of like getting into this vibe as Monday and Tuesday start. It comes exact on Thursday. But, you know, this refines our tastes. It refines our values. It brings maturity. It's really, you know, in terms of Saturn aspects, it's one of the less harsh Saturn aspects. However, Venus is our desire to relate with others, right? It is likely to cause a desire to just be more internalized, be more to ourselves, be more isolated, have stronger boundaries. And this is also energy that is like, I feel like, you know, as a portion of whatever experience this week is bringing to us that is priming us to become something new in the energy as we move through next week. It's like we're growing up in some type of a way, or we're deciding, you know, we want better for ourselves somehow, or like we're no longer willing to accept certain types of things. This is also like, could be cutting some people off if they're like falling short of our bar type of energy, which also plays into the Libra full moon lunar eclipse that is going to be coming up next week. Remember, Libra is also ruled by Venus. Venus and Saturn, this puts up walls, okay? This cuts us off from connections and relationships, and with the eclipse that is happening in the sign of Libra as well. Again, this is just, to me, another indication. Saturn is also the past, that like, you know, whatever from the past is falling short of our standard, our expectation, like our bar right now. It's, you know, this is where we're going to be making some changes, and, you know, manifesting some endings, I do think, moving forward into the energy of next week. So things happening this week, helping us to be ready to move forward somehow, to move on, to let something go, this final disconnect, final release of something that we have been moving towards for a long time. This is a long time coming energy that we have coming up, that is going to be coming in next week. And then of course, once we hit that ending, you know, once we walk through that gateway that is representing that final release, it's like, it's almost like I feel like we're like going to be like sucked in this whole new direction, maybe in like a very fast, unpredictable, like shocking way. You know, Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, okay, that is going to bring the thunder and the lightning. Like that is like, Uranus rules shocks and surprises. It's expect the unexpected. It's things suddenly happening. It's, you know, the changes that have needed to happen that we haven't been able to make for ourselves. Like it's like the lightning striking the tower. And then, you know, Jupiter, this is Zeus. This is also like the Lord of thunder and lightning, you know, this is Jupiter expands everything. Like this supersizes energy. And we're talking about this happening in the sign of Taurus, which is like the foundations that we built, like the, you know, the material structures and stuff like that of our lives. And it's also like our projects and financial situations and partnerships, like alliances, what we're working on, what we're building. It's food, it's resources, it's finances, it's essentially like stability. So I will say things are going to change quickly, and they're going to change in a way that really shakes foundations moving forward, but it's going to be okay. And actually, you know, while it's Uranus energy, which is silver lining energy, when Uranus energy is happening, when that lightning is hitting that tower and we're in that free fall, it usually doesn't really feel like a good thing. But whenever we're dealing with Uranus energy, at the end of the day, when we hit the ground and we see like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't fun, but now I'm actually free and I landed on my feet and I'm facing this like opportunity that is exactly what I always wanted. You know, it's the silver lining. It's blessings in disguise. It's things feeling like chaos and crisis and calamity in the moment, but realizing in retrospect, without that experience, these things that we appreciate and are grateful for now wouldn't have and couldn't have happened. So collectively, a massive experience along those lines is what we're moving towards. And before we get there, we're really going to be saying goodbye to some things, ending some things, letting some things go. And before we get there, we are gaining like a higher spiritual knowing or understanding, or preparing ourselves in a way that makes things easier, facilitates this process of release, of new beginnings, and of change that we are moving towards. So, you know, themes this week with Mercury and the North Node together in Aries, this could bring up themes of leadership, war, battles, fights, conflicts, things to do with weapons, fire, firearms, wounding, trauma, pain, and victimhood because of the Chiron influence, but also lessons learned, strategy, wisdom gained through experience, learning how to heal. I think that with a lot of this information that is coming through is going to be how to heal ourselves, how to release ourselves, how to move on from things, how to forgive. And I think that that is what is actually going to, you know, be the catalyst to our being able to release and move on from things for a lot of people in a lot of circumstances. Again, ultimately, this is all about breaking karmic cycles from the past that have kept us detached from like our true destiny or our true purpose or our true potential or the divine image and vision of what we really could become if we were unencumbered by the subconscious programming and the unhealed trauma and the karmic attachments that, you know, keep us in the loops of experiencing and manifesting those circumstances and the energy of, you know, that type of stuff generally. So Forgiveness, transmutation, transcendence, self-mastery. I think a lot of people are going to be having a spiritual awakening, as I said this week, and coming to understand, what they no longer desire to be a part of or to be intertwined with or to carry anymore. Surrendering the burden, is also a big part of this. Themes of how our past experiences, wounds, and traumas have made us into who we are today as well. And as a result of that, why we can now release our emotional attachment to them that has been keeping us locked in these cycles, preventing us from moving forward. Now we're going to be able to, we're going to gain the ability to be able to extract the value from some of our more negative experiences in the past and use that as a catalyst to our own freedom, our own growth, our own independence, our own success, our own happiness, and our own fulfillment. And, being, again, our own knight in shining armor, or the active catalyst in our own unfolding of destiny, essentially moving forward, breaking cycles, healing soul wounds. This could be mother wounds. This could be things related to the maternal line as well, with the Cancer moon coming in, simultaneously. So highly spiritual influence this week, you guys. Also the sun, or also the Saturn, Venus, maturing values, preferences, desires, wanting better for ourselves, taking better care of ourselves, being more responsible, and perhaps this powerful desire for, seclusions. This can also represent mature love, mature romance, wise investments, attention to detail, and getting ourselves together generally on some level. So that's really, what I have to say in terms of how things are playing out to start our week this week and moving through the week. Should be a more reserved, introverted energy this week, highly spiritual attuned with fated events, conversations, connections, and revelations taking place. Sabian symbols are talking about it as well. We have the Earth, actually, the state of things on the ground on Monday to start our week at 29 Virgo. That Sabian symbol is a man gaining secret knowledge from an ancient scroll he is reading, figuring things out, perhaps from the past, that maybe change our outlook on reality, ourselves generally, what we want to do next, how things are going to be moving forward. And we do have Uranus right now at a very interesting Sabian symbol as well. That Sabian symbol is a moving finger, points to significant passages in a book. So to me, that is, emphasizing this very same theme. Uranus, the planet of awakening perhaps to some type of crucial information or detail, or seeing or noticing something that has some type of transformative impact on our lives somehow. We also have Saturn, 12 Pisces, men walking a narrow path, seeking illumination, trying to figure it out, trying to get to the root of it, trying to see the truth of things. I do feel like that illumination is likely to be coming through this week. And we also have the sun at 29 Pisces, light breaking into many colors as it passes through a prism. Again, breaking things down, seeing things for what they truly are, maybe seeing each individual component or aspect of something that we had been viewing as a whole in some way, or we had been seeing things in a certain way, but our viewpoint somehow is changing. Maybe we're seeing things through a prism somehow, or metaphorically, and it is separating information or aspects of things somehow, giving us a more detailed look at each part. So maybe we can put the whole picture back together and it means something different. I don't know, you guys, but I feel like there's a lot of symbolism that is also indicating our ability to see things more clearly, see things in a more, specific or detailed or illuminated type of way. And the information that we gain this week, it's just likely to play an important role in these larger general themes of endings and beginnings and personal transformation that are the entire tea, the entire cosmic push right now. So that's what I'm going to say, you guys, about the astrology today. Let's talk about the tarot for a minute. this message, this tarot message to me is specifically referencing what I was saying about one of the ways that I feel like this Neptune, Sun, Moon trine with the Mercury North Node conjunction energy is likely to play out. Okay, to me, okay, we've got the Queen of Swords in reverse on the back of the deck. To me, this is deception. This is lies. This is like manipulation. This is like a lack of clarity, like things not being true, not being upright, like not being transparent, and just generally like it's indicating perhaps some deception. But then these cards that we have going on, the actual cards that came out of the deck, we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse, we have the Emperor, and we have the Six of Cups. This to me is talking about like, we're taking our power back somehow. It's perhaps something to do with the past or seeing the past in a different way that is actually like changing the way that we feel about and view ourselves. With the Five of Pentacles in reverse, this is like no longer feeling cast out, like no longer feeling powerless, no longer feeling like a victim. Rather, the Emperor, this is Aries energy. This is standing in our truth, standing in our power, being prepared to do whatever job needs to be done to, you know, accomplish a goal, accomplish a mission. And then we're also talking about the Six of Cups here, which has to do with the past, which has to do with nostalgia, you know, our relationships, our connections, early childhood, the home, giving some sort of like Cancer vibes. But it's, you know, the people, the situations from the past that have built us essentially. And then again, you know, with this Queen of Swords in reverse on the back, there could be something that we are finding out about the past that was somehow untrue, that had been keeping us in a state of feeling powerless. And because maybe as this energy comes through, we are learning the truth about something that, I mean, the astrology is explaining this as well. Like, this is one of the octaves, the ways that this energy could be manifesting something that we're finding out the truth about that we hadn't understood clearly, or a lie that we've been believing, or, you know, something that just wasn't exactly being presented as it truly was, keeping us in a state of, you know, powerlessness somehow, state of victimhood somehow, state of feeling like disconnected or like, you know, on our own, or we don't fit in, all that type of stuff. But in reality, it's like, because whatever we're finding out about, because whatever, you know, shift in perspective or whatever we're realizing wasn't what we thought it was, it's having this empowering effect that is altering our future or changing our focus moving forward, or just helping us to feel like we're playing more of a commanding role in our own lives or experiences going forward. So I don't know, it just seems like there is some type of shift of power going on based on how we're perceiving ourselves and our past, based on perhaps what we might be finding out in this energy as it comes through this week. So that's what I feel like is coming through in the message of the tarot cards. Let's get one more card now, you guys. God, Spirit, Universe. Oh, that was fast. We need a synchronicity card, and it says, you guys, God's the boss, which is Emperor energy coming through as well, which we know we're in a week of divine intervention and divine assistance and spiritual energy and divine alignment. I'm telling you guys, like, there is a spiritual hand that is very much like pulling the strings in the way that things are unfolding this week, okay? Who then is that faithful and wise steward? Luke 12:42. You must do your job joyously and faithfully in the knowledge that God is your boss. Your subconscious will then respond and promote you and remove obstacles to your success. Have a constructive vision, be faithful to your vision, show respect for authority, and you will be prospered along all lines, which is this Emperor energy, which is this Aries energy. It is time to boss up, you guys. Like, that's what this is saying to me. Like, God is the boss, and, you know, by proxy, it is our job to step into that energy in our own lives as we channel the divine authority that is coming into play this week. So that's what I'm going to say. Time to boss up in our own lives. I was saying that also as well, sort of with the Venus Saturn conjunction this week. Time to get it together. And something about going through this process is going to open us up to a whole new world somehow, coming literally over the course of this next couple weeks. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to say for today. So there it is, you guys. God's the boss. Message from the stars, message from the cards. I hope you guys liked it. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think they would also be interested in this type of astrology content. Leave me comments, you guys. They're very valuable to me. I really appreciate your feedback, knowing what's going on with you out there. If you're having experiences that do line up with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. And if you want to know what's on this whiteboard, I have a Facebook group where I post pictures of these boards in my description box below. And Janice Shellman, the creator of the synchronicity cards, she also posts the synchronicity cards in that group as well. If you want a closer look at those, and come back with me on Wednesday, you guys, we're going to have our spring equinox report. This is a big one. We will be able to glean some insight into the entire year by looking at the energy of the equinox, and that's what we're going to be doing next time. So I will be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you then, everybody. Have a beautiful next couple of days. Don't push yourself too hard. Open to receive some type of important message, and I will talk to you next time. Until then, you guys, bye.